this example 2018 MCQ question number 17. It is relevant for lease and adjustment. And given fair value of motor vehicle 5,400,000. Down payment is given 1.4 million. As well as annual lease installment 1,262,000. Lease period 4 years. Think lease interest rate is given, not given interest separately. Accounting period end of the year 31st March 2018, but asset purchase beginning of the year. There's lease creditor included in the financial person as a current liability as well as non-current liability. But based on going concern concepts, lease creditor should be divided into 2 parts as a current liability and non-current liability. That first one given, fair value is given. That is a value should be considered as cost value. Think cost value of asset is given 5,400,000. Think values in 1000. This one values in 1000, 5.4 million. Fair value, market value, that is value should be considered as a cost value. Then minus down payments. Think minus down payment, it is given 1,400,000. Therefore, balance part should be considered as initial lease liability equal 4 million. Therefore, this is a value payable for lease creditor. Initial lease liability. Initial lease liability. Therefore, this is the payable amount. But given annual lease installment equal 1,262,000. 1,262,000 annual lease installment in 4 years. Think end of the lease period we have to pay 1,262,000 in 4. Think end of the lease period we have to pay 5,048,000. Think values in 1000. Therefore, reason for difference interest. This is the total interest relevant for 4-year periods. Total interest equal 1,048,000. Therefore, this is the 1,048,000 total interest. This interest relevant for 4-year periods. But think asset purchase beginning of the year, 1st April 2017, end of the year 31st March 2018. Right, there's lease creditor included under current liability as well as non-current liability. Right, now to pay the lease creditor comes. Lease creditor is a liability. So this is a lease creditor. Record values in 1000. Right, first one thing, down payment paid in cash, cash account credit, right of use asset account debit. This value down payment paid in cash. Therefore, cash account credit, right of use asset account debit. It is not effect for lease creditor. But initial lease liability 4,000, right of use asset account debit, lease creditor credit. Think initial lease liability, lease creditor credit as right of use assets. Then the current interest is not given, but given interest rate is given. Therefore, current interest should be calculated based on initial lease liability. Therefore, lease interest. Think lease interest. Not given clearly, but given interest rate. Think first year, lease interest should be calculated based on initial lease liability. It has given rate 10%. Therefore, this is current lease interest. Think not given clearly, but given interest rate is given. Right. Therefore, double entry, lease interest account debit, lease creditor credit. That's the expense of the business. Therefore, lease interest accounts. Lease interest account debit and lease creditor credit. That value also should be payable for leasing company. Lease creditor liability increase as a result of current interest. Then the installment equal each year 1,262,000 paid in cash. Therefore, cash account credit 1,262,000. Cash account credit, lease credit debit. Think installment paid in cash. Then lease credit closing balance can be calculated. It should be recognized separately as a current liability as a non-current liability. Credit side increase. Take that from debit side. And difference value as a balance carry down. That is value should be divided by 2 parts. So credit side total amount equal 4,400. Then the difference value 4,400 minus 1,262. Therefore, lease credit closing balance is equal 3,138,000. 3,138,000. That value as a balance brought forward. Therefore, this is value should be divided by two parts as a current liability and non-current liability. Think current liability as a non-current liability. Lease credit closing balance should be divided by two parts. Now you have to calculate next interest also. Therefore, this second interest also not given. Second interest should be calculated based on closing balance of lease credit now. Think interest is not given clearly. Therefore, 3,138 into 10%. Therefore, think next interest equal 313.8. Therefore, this is the second interest. Lease credit should be divided by two parts as a current liability as a non-current liability. Therefore, under current liability as a lease credit should be recorded installment. Each value equal 1,262. From that value should be deduct next interest. Think how to recognize separately as a current and non-current liability. Installment minus next interest equal current liability. Therefore, 1,262 minus 313.8. Therefore, this is value. Think 400. So 948,200. Therefore, this is the value should be recorded under current liability as a lease creditor. Balance part non-current liability. 3,138 from that value should be deduct 948,200. Therefore, think balance part equal 3,138 minus 948.2. Therefore, non-current liability 2,189.8. Therefore, this is value should be recorded under non-current liability. Think asset purchase beginning of the year. Therefore, down payment cash account credit, right of use asset account debit. It is not effect for lease creditor. Effect for lease creditor initial lease liability, right of use asset account debit, lease creditor credit. Therefore, the current interest should be calculated based on initial lease liability. Think this part also very important. It has given interest rate. Then current interest expense account debit, lease creditor credit, and installment each equal paid in cash account credit, lease creditor debit. Then by closing lease creditor, closing balance can be calculated. It should be divided by two parts, current liability, non-current liability. This second interest also not given. How to calculate? Based on closing balance of lease creditor. Installment minus net interest should be recorded under current liability, balance part, non-current liability. Therefore, think question number 17 answer. Question number 17 under current liability 948,200. Non-current liability 2,189.8. Therefore, answer is the third one. Question number 17 answer 3. Think asset purchase and lease. There is no legal ownerships based on substance or from concepts. That value also should be considered as an asset of the business.